Now that we have the data transformed to the right form, we will load it to a Google spreadsheet. But first, we need to initialize our Google Drive. For this, we need some more variables. Add two scopes for the drive. Call the variable scopes drive and rename the scopes for Google Analytics scope analytics. This will make it easier to separate the two scopes. One Google Drive scope is for the spreadsheet feed and the other a Google API for Drive. Furthermore, we also need to define the spreadsheet we are going to load data to. Thus, go to the Google spreadsheet you would like to have the data loaded into and copy-paste the ID into a variable as a string. Lastly, we also need to define which worksheet our data are being uploaded to. Since we have some totals and details, call the worksheets something like GA totals and GA details. Then you also know where the data was extracted from. Let's write a function to initialize your Google Drive and spreadsheet. Copy-paste the analytics reporting initialization function description and replace the name and some of the description. Then get the credentials into a variable. You can just call it credentials as we did it in the analytics function, but you can also just add a more detailed definition at the end, like drive or analytics as shown here. The credentials are defined by the JSON key file and the scopes. Lastly, we return an authorization for Google Drive and the Google Spreadsheets feed. Let's see if it works. There are no parameters needed, so just write the function in a new cell and run the cell. There is a name error because we have not run the variables cell after our changes. Run that cell and then test it again. Now we can see it works. You can now move the cell further down to where it would be needed after the table creation, but before we are going to upload that table to Google Spreadsheets.